What's going on, everybody? You are tuned in to the Hot List. I come to y'all at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday. We hang out and we talk real estate topics. We talk questions, concerns, and of course, I answer a question of the day that is submitted by a listener of the podcast. If you're interested in submitting a question to the podcast, you want to get it answered on air, all you got to do simply shoot me a message through Facebook, or if you are not catching this on Facebook, maybe you're listening to it on YouTube or whatever podcast player you're listening to it on. All you got to do is simply just drop it in the comments and it will get to me. I will not only answer that question for you, but I will then use it for future videos just like this one. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Matt Johnson with Keller Realty, and I started the hot list because throughout my real estate career, I get questions that some of them I get fairly often, and I like to not just answer those for people, but record them, put them out for other people to listen to, because if one person has that specific question, I've learned that there are many other people that have those questions as well. And I just want to give back and do my part to just get that get that question answered for you. So hopefully that will not just answer your question, but give you the capability kind of springboard into more depth as far as which direction that you want to go. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and as new episodes become available, they'll automatically be downloaded into your podcast player of choice, or you'll get notifications if you are watching this on YouTube. The question of the day today is, are granite countertops out of style? And I'm very excited to answer this question because as a homeowner, I just recently went through this as well. Granite, not granite, is it that much better? How much maintenance is required? Is there another material or other materials out there that are more popular than granite? And I have no doubt anybody that's ever watched an episode of any type of show on HGTV, you hear buyers just going on and just oogling granite countertops. And for many decades, this natural stone has been the poster child for home luxury. There was actually a study done in 2016 by Builder Practices Survey. 64% of new homes being built at that time were being built with granite countertop. Now, there's been debate over the last several years whether granite has run its course. Maybe its days are numbered because there are so many solid surface options now, as well as other natural materials that are all kind of riding that same trend wave. So could granite be on its way out, or is it still appealing and as strong as ever? Before I answer the question of if they are out of style, let's take a little detour and give a little background on granite, kind of where it came from and how it became so popular. That way, once you know where it came from and its origins, how it became popular, we'll see if it will continue to have that sustainability. As I mentioned, granite is a natural stone. It's very durable. It's mined from quarries, and it started with its popularity in the quarries being mined from Brazil and Italy, especially. Once it's mined, the technicians cut material into slabs. They polish them to a smooth, shiny finish that you see in most showrooms. From there, fabrication specialists transform that material into different shapes and sizes based on customer needs. Now, granite got started and became popular in the 80s thanks to designer Deborah Sussman. She actually had granite countertops installed in her kitchen in 1986. And at that time, she was one of the first ones to do it because prices then were absolutely outrageous and well out of the budget of the average consumer. Well, then came the 90s. More countries discovered granite. They began mining them. So as the supply increased, prices began to decrease. And there was a study done by the International Trade Commission, and I bring this up just so to give you a little bit of difference. So they did a study in 1996, and at that point, the U.S. was importing 206,000 metric tons of granite per year. Jump to 2014, that number has grown to just over 2 million metric tons per year. So, has it gained popularity? Absolutely. Is it more affordable? You bet your ass it is. But there's also some more important factors to note when comparing granite in the 80s and 90s to the granite that you see now. Because when granite snowballed in the 90s and early 2000s, it was a much cheaper version then than what you're seeing today. Because the granite at that point, there wasn't much known about it. So it wasn't sealed and taken care of properly. You were limited on colors as well as patterns. But the advantage that it had, it was more appealing than the Formica laminate countertops as well as tile countertops. So throughout the 2000s, granite has gained more popularity because it's become more affordable, and now it's even popping up in some mid-level to entry-level homes. And there's even situations where it's beginning to replace marble countertops in luxury homes. And that's because it offers more durability and stain resistance that marble just doesn't offer. So, what we're going to get into and talk about today, we are going to talk about 3 need to knows about granite countertops. So, kicking it off with number 1, we're going to talk about the evolution of granite. So now we're headed into the second decade of this century, and many go back and forth whether the granite craze is tapering off or just kind of in a low right now with other options out there. Like anything else, it depends on who you ask will determine the answer. Most crazes are determined on either coast. So if you ask someone, they might give you an answer other than granite, especially here in the Midwest. So you ask somebody from California, they're going to say something different than somebody in the Midwest versus somebody down south and the East Coast. Now, there's also a number of studies done in Arizona and California with homes that are being built with quartz countertops. While granite is still very popular, because it can hold up to hot pans and items being set on it, unlike quartz, it's also very easy to keep clean, and that is a huge advantage. One of the other things to note with granite is no two slabs are the same. And because of that, there's such a huge variation of colors and patterns that are available. Just a quick side note that I want to throw in here too. Preferences tend to change along with trends as well. So homeowners who prefer granite are starting to change their preferences of the stone, not necessarily to a different stone, but a different style of granite itself. Because in the 90s and early 2000s, the granite that you saw then was a lot busier, kind of bolder with the colors and the patterns, and even darker colors were in style. Now, everything is shifting towards solid or lighter colors, especially some type of white or white pattern with gray veins, because people really like this because it emulates that Carrara marble, which is definitely luxury and people would love to see in their house. And now you're starting to see people will use their countertops to kind of break up the flow of their cabinets or maybe even their floor. Number two, quartz versus granite. Granite is not expected to disappear anytime soon. There are recent reports showing that granite, marble, and other stones that are on the market are going to continue to just sustainably grow through 2025. However, the biggest front runner now for the competition is quartz. And to get into a few differences between granite versus quartz. So quartz is a man-made material where granite is a natural stone. So quartz is made up of a blend of about 90% ground quartz and about 10% resin and polymers to hold it all together. So especially over the last 10 years or so, granite has actually been losing out to quartz in a lot of sales because of the benefits that come along with quartz. So benefits of quartz, you get a choice of your color and consistency. Again, because quartz is an engineered material, manufacturers can control what type of pigments and patterns are added into the stone. This allows them to create an unlimited amount of colors and patterns. Since granite is a natural stone and the slabs are mined from quarries, the colors and patterns are determined by nature, and you would just have to look at different slabs to try to get a different color or pattern. Another advantage is for quartz, they are a non porous material. So granite is porous by nature because it's a stone. So it will absorb liquids that are left on the countertop, which is why it has to be sealed every so often. And by sealing it, it's going to keep out mold and harmful bacteria. Where quartz, since it's solid, it's non porous and it's not going to absorb any moisture. It also requires no sealing, which is a huge advantage. And this makes it highly resistant to staining from wine or other acidic liquids. And finally, the other benefit is the eco-friendliness that quartz presents. Because granite requires a lot of energy and transportation from quarry to fabrication, quartz is engineered and doesn't really tap into those natural resources. So while quartz could be granite's biggest competitor, there are still a few other alternatives out there that are making a name for themselves and beginning to edge into the market. And that's going to take us into number 3 on the list. What other alternatives are out there? So we're going to talk about a few other alternatives, and I have these listed from most expensive to least expensive. Uh, the one of the other popular alternatives on the list is quartzite. This is not to be confused with quartz. So quartzite is a natural stone like granite, and it is much harder and more durable than granite. Because it's a natural stone, it does need sealed on a regular basis to prevent any type of staining on the stone. And just like granite, there it is available in a variety of attractive colors and patterns that naturally occur, and you just get to pick those out. Again, this one's first on the list because this is one of the higher price ones for an alternative. These can range depending on which one you choose, who installs it, from $90 to $150 per square foot installed. Second alternative is concrete countertops. The biggest benefit with these is they have a limitless amount of customization to them. They can be poured at any shape, thicknesses, patterns, and color. Because it's concrete, they're scratch resistant and they're heat resistant. Uh, Also, because it's concrete, it does require periodic sealing to prevent any stains that happen. And this is the next highest on the list as far as cost because of the skill and artistry required in order to pour these and design these. These range from $65 to $135 per square foot. Number three on the alternative list is decton. This is a material that's actually starting to gain more popularity or as much popularity as quartz. It's an engineered stone and it's actually blended with quartz in it, also with glass and porcelain. And right now it's being touted as the hardest and most durable surface that you can buy that's available right now, because it stands up to heat, scratches, and stains. Doesn't have to be sealed because, again, it is an engineered stone, not a natural stone. This one is moderately expensive, kind of in the middle of the road here. It can range anywhere between $55 to $115 per square foot installed. Again, just depending on what material that you pick out. And I'm sure everybody was waiting for this, waiting to see where it was going to fall as an alternative. That's right. Next on the list is marble. I was actually surprised this wasn't higher on the list. It's a natural stone and it is often used in upscale luxury homes. Remember, I referenced the Carrara marble earlier, and that's where when most people picture marble, they think that that white stone with the gray veins in it and that Carrara marble that is just absolutely beautiful. Just know there is some risk involved when installing marble in your kitchen. It's much softer than granite, so it's going to stain and scratch a lot quicker than what granite would. And this one ranges from about $40 to $100 per square foot. That's going to be for just your normal marble, not your Carrara marble. That's your high-end luxury. And finally, the last alternative on the list that is the most common and most affordable, butcher block countertop. These are slabs of wood that are made from individual strips and layered together. These are popular because they kind of give that warm look and feel to the kitchen. Just be aware, because it's wood, it's got to be sealed on a monthly basis to prevent any types of staining or damage. And these range from about $30 to $40 per square foot installed. So that's it. That's everything we've covered. I know we've covered a lot. You may have to go back and listen to this again. So now the question remains is, are granite countertops out of style? The answer is no. They're not. They are not as popular as they once were, with quartz starting to take over, but they have lost a little bit of ground, but they are not necessarily out of style. So should you go with granite? Well, that's entirely up to you, because the choice of the countertop material is an individual one. And I would recommend basing your choice off your lifestyle and your budget. Um, Maybe your budget first, lifestyle second, and just see what's popular in your area. Are you an area where there's a lot of granite countertops? Um, Talk to some of the contractors and agents, because there's still a number of countertops that are popular with builders as well as certain buyers. On the other side of that, don't overlook the customization of the alternatives that I gave you guys today. Because in our kitchen, we actually chose quartz countertops over granite. It came down to less maintenance required with them not having to be sealed on a regular basis. They're super easy to clean. They're stain resistant, especially with my wife and my son that are accident prone people. And I felt like that was the best route to go. So I would love to know, what type of countertops do you have in your home? Is it something that's on the list, or is it something else that is a little bit different? I would love to see your pictures, and leave it in the comments what type of countertop you have in your home. I'd love to hear it. That is going to wrap it up and do it for me today in the hot list. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and tuning in. Again, I'm your host, Matt Johnson with Keller Williams Realty, and I do this because your experience matters and should be trusted with a veteran. Y'all have a phenomenal weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Take care.